This week's car du jour is the 2025 Ford Explorer. And because I've already done a first look review of this vehicle on the Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk channel, yeah, I'm not going to do that here. So go there to check that out if you're looking for a broader overview. Nope. In this video, what I'm going to do is a tech check. And since we are in my garage, I figure I will just start with some of the ambient lighting. So let's take a closer look at this week's car du jour, the 2025 Ford Explorer. Getting in the vehicle, one of the first things you're going to notice is this really cool digital display that you have in the behind the wheel cluster, and it transfers over into this infotainment screen. And when you turn the vehicle on, because I know that people are very concerned about me being in a closed garage with my vehicle on, I just want you to be aware of the fact that I have now put this in accessory mode so that I can talk a little bit more about the ambient lighting. So you do have some ambient lighting in the 2025 Ford Explorer, and in order to adjust that, you're going to come into your vehicle settings, so this little guy right here, this little icon, and then hit your ambient lighting. And okay, so you don't necessarily have a custom color, but you do have some different color options. I tend to like blue on Ford vehicles. Maybe that's a little bit weird. So you've got like essentially 3 different blue colors going on. Yeah, no, I don't like the orange at all. I mean, the purple isn't bad, but I'm gonna go with blue. So at any rate, you do have some color options, and you can also take down the brightness. So if you are driving at night and you're very sensitive to lights, you can take down the brightness a little bit. So I like that. And then when you look at the screen, you can see where the ambient lighting is in the front and in the back. So you do have some ambient lighting in the second row as well. Outside of the ambient lighting, I do want to say I feel like things are pretty well lit. So you know where your steering wheel buttons are, you know where your HVAC controls are, and everything is pretty easy to reach. You also have a nice little light in this cubby right here. So if you needed to plug in anything to charge, you have a really good view of that as well. So I'm always very appreciative of an automaker that makes it very easy to find things in the dark. Now we're going to open this up, and before we exit the garage to look at some of the other technology, I want to check out the cargo area. Okay, the 2025 Ford Explorer is a fairly large vehicle. Yes, I am short, but this is also kind of big. And so one of the things that I appreciate is the fact that you do have a height adjustable liftgate, and yes, I have already adjusted this for my height. But if you wanted it to be a little bit taller, you simply raise it to where you want it, press the liftgate button, wait for the double chime, and then when you lower it, and then raise it back up, it is in the new height. So I appreciate the fact that this is a pretty easy adjustment to make, and you can raise it, lower it, do all the things that you want fairly easily. You also have a decent amount of space back here with a small amount of underfloor storage under this little cover here. Now, I am gonna say, this is a little bit narrow. So I like to talk about my mom having a walker. I don't know that I could fit her walker back here unless I tilted it this way. I don't know. That'd be a little bit tough. But if you're only putting 4 people in here, you can fold these seats down, and that works really well. So I think golf bags would fit here fairly easily. You could probably stack 2, but again, if you're not going to have anybody in that 3rd row, you can flip those seats down, and that's a fairly easy operation too. So you know what, let's take a quick look at that as well. So what I really like about this is the platinum trim. You do have a button here to be able to flip your seats up and down. And so you just have a 1 press operation, and then you can back away and they will go down by themselves. There are some vehicles that will actually make you stand there and hold the button, da, 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 and then, you know, until they're down or until they're up. And then you have this single button right here that you can press, and it will put them both up together or both down together. So I like the fact that this Platinum trim has the power up and power down seats. You don't have to worry about, you know, leaning up against this and getting anything dirty if you're putting seats down or putting seats up. So I like that. And you know what? While we're here, we'll just take a quick look at this underfloor storage. This would be great for jumper cables or small packages, a purse, whatever. But it will hide underneath this floor, and, well, nobody's going to know it's there. I like that. Okay, as we leave the garage, I figure this is going to be a really good time to talk about the camera, because I feel like this is a really good camera. So I put it in reverse, and you can see it is showing the back view as well as the around view. You have dynamic guidelines. And yes, you do have an audible sensor. It's telling me I'm really close in the back here. So I like the fact that it's showing me how close I am to an obstacle as well. And then as I pull out of the garage, you will see that it shows, you know, the trajectory, and it will get brighter as I go into the sun. So I'll put it into drive, and it transfers to the front of the vehicle so you can see my front view. And it was just on a little bit of a delay. So that would be very helpful in like parallel parking situations. So, and as I approached the obstacle, you saw that the camera had shut off, but it was like, ooh, I'm going to turn that back on really quick so that you can see what you're doing. But, you know, since we were just pulling out of the garage, I'm going to do a quick back into the garage as well. So again, you get a really good view of what is going on with the camera. I like that it is nice and bright, and you have a really good view, again, of what is going on. Around you. And I love the red, yellow, green, because again, that tells me how close I can get to my door, so that I can still open the door and get in and out of my garage with this very large vehicle in it. And then I can see in the front, yep, I have plenty of space to close the garage door. All of that gets a thumbs up. All right, I feel like I've done this a little bit backwards because I started with some of the exterior stuff rather than giving the interior tech walk around. But now I wanted to move more to what is going on and that the driver sees. So you do have a full digital display here. And I mean, you do have some options to change what is going on here and how this looks. But I will be honest with you, I mean, you don't have a lot of options to completely change what is going on in the behind the wheel cluster. It's pretty standard in terms of what it will let you see and what you have available to select. And I mean, I've hit some of the buttons, I've played around with this a little bit, and I've not found a way to put a map view back here. But if you know of a way to do that, please comment below, because I really think that this could benefit from a map view back there. Now, the other thing that you have going on here is you do have wireless Apple CarPlay. Now, because I am filming this with my phone, I'm not going to swipe through, but I am going to tell you that this is a very responsive system. It doesn't have any lag, and it does pretty well in terms of how this operates. I also really like how this looks, and I like how Ford has implemented this, because you can swipe through your Apple CarPlay stuff, and then to get back to the home screen or back to the native applications on this vehicle, you just hit this home button. So they leave this menu up all the time, which makes it really easy to transfer between your Apple CarPlay system and then the native system in the vehicle. And sometimes automakers don't do that, and they put like a little icon on here that you have to like scroll through and find and select to be able to go back to your home button or your home screen. And I like that Ford didn't do that. They've got this menu. They've made this easy, and I really appreciate that. Now, the other thing that I should say is you do have Google built in here. So this is a Google map, and this is going to be for a free trial. And then eventually you're going to have to pay for this. But the good thing that they've done, as we've already pointed out, is they've given you Apple CarPlay, so you can use your Apple Maps, your Waze, and your Google Maps through here. You never need to pay the subscription fee for Google built-in if you don't want to. This has been a pain point for me recently talking about infotainment systems. I really don't like it when an automaker is going to take away your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and then make you pay to use their map system. So that irks me. So there is a subscription fee, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to pay for that. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of what you're looking at here in terms of your main infotainment system and the different apps and things that you have available. You do have Ford Pass app available, which will allow you to remote start the car, remote lock and unlock the vehicle all through your phone. And I've reached out to Ford to see if there's a subscription fee for that, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. So if they do get back to me by the time I post this video, I will put that information down here. But overall, I like how the system looks. I like how it works. I like the fact that the maps and things fill out the screen. And yeah, I mean, you can get this on your phone with your Google Maps, and it essentially looks the same. And it will tell you your real-time traffic information as you're traveling on the highway. And so I like that you have both things. That's what I want to say about that. Before we move on to the final tech feature that I want to talk about, yeah, I can't have a tech review without talking about the wireless charger. And what I want to say is this is okay. It is just okay, because here's the caveat with that. When I had the air blowing on me and not on my phone actually heated up and it stopped charging my phone. But once I realized, oh my gosh, I can actually turn the air vent down and it hits my phone while it's in the charging pad. Yeah, my phone didn't overheat anymore. So I think this is a good location for the phone because you can, blow air on it. But in an ideal world, I would really wish that automakers would just put a cool pad under here. I wish they'd put a cool pad under here. General Motors does it. Their wireless charging works with my phone, but unless I had the air blowing directly on my phone, and then it would like cool down this half of my phone, but like the part that was under here was still a little bit hot. It was a weird thing. Don't know that that's good for the life of your phone or for a long-term plan, but for me and my road trip that I took, it worked okay. So I don't know. This is okay. It is a decent location. I like the little phone tray or device tray that you've got going on here, even if you didn't have a phone charger. But cool pad. Let's get a cool pad in here. Then I don't have to. Then I can actually blow the air on myself and not my phone. All right, the last tech thing that I want to talk about, actually it's kind of two things, but really one thing, involves this back here. So first off, I want to point out I am using Apple Maps right now, and my navigation instructions are showing up in the behind the wheel cluster. So I really appreciate the fact that Apple CarPlay will show up through your directionals here, and that is certainly helpful information because that means you don't have to display your map all the time over here. Okay, now the final thing that I want to show you on the Ford Explorer is going to be Blue Cruise. And to activate it, there's a button on the steering wheel, you press that, And if you are in an acceptable location to be able to go hands-free, the entire screen will turn blue and it will tell you that you can go hands-free. So this is a level 2 operation. So it controls the speed, it controls your lane centering, but it's only available in select areas. It's not on 2-lane roads or where you would be like with stoplights and things like that. And the other thing that I want to point out is it does not do an automatic lane change. So I have the cruise control set at 57. We're only going 51. And if I were in a General Motors vehicle with Super Cruise, it would have changed lanes for me by now. However, it does do a hands-free lane change. When I turn on my blinker, it will automatically change my lane for me and then speed up to go the speed that I have set, but it will not automatically do that. So what I want to say is this is a really good system, but it's not a great system. I think Super Cruise is a great system, and I have no idea why it gave me the notification here to put my hands back on the wheel. We are on an accepted highway, but it just must not be able to read the lane lines. Okay, and there it's telling me to take my hands off the wheel again. So you definitely have to pay attention. This isn't a system where you can like text your friends, watch a DVD, or goof around. You still have to be paying attention because the vehicle it is watching your eyes, and it will tell you to take control of the vehicle if it doesn't read the situation. Now, the other thing to know about Blue Cruise, in addition to the fact that it doesn't do automatic lane changes and it's not going to be operable on like 2-lane roads with stoplights. The other thing to know is that this comes with an $800 subscription fee, and that means that it's an annual fee. If you do the 90-day free trial, then you can pay $75 a month or $800 a year. If you forego the free trial, you can then opt for a $700 annual fee, but it's just essentially taking the 90-day subscription out of it. So, or the 90-day trial out of it. So, at any rate, I like this system. It's a good system. It's not a great system. Super Cruise is a great system. I do like that you have your Apple CarPlay directionals that still show up back here. And, like I said, overall, pretty good system. Not a great system. All right, that is what I have for you today on the 2025 Ford Explorer Tech Check. I really like the Blue Cruise capability. Don't like the $800 annual subscription. I like Google Built-in. I don't like that you only get 1 year for free. Thank goodness for Apple CarPlay and the fact that that is going to be free for the life of the vehicle. So there's a lot of good technology here if you're willing to pay for it. I think that's the end of that story. All right, thanks for sticking with me, and I hope you enjoyed this quick tech check on the 2025 Ford Explorer. I'll see you next time with a new car du jour.